Hi everyone, it's Judy. Welcome back to Rose Lane. Okay, we have another, I think I have, I think I have one more center spread after this one. I got to come up with something, I think, because I need 5. I think I've got 4, so I have to come up with something else. Not sure what that's going to be. I think I'm counting correctly. I'm not that sure, but we're going to try. This is something that I had done before. I had done this like the center spread that had the pull-out papers that came out from the sides. In this journal, they came out from the ends. In the autumn journal, they came out from in the middle and pulled out that way. I just did something a little different this time. A different page design, but used that same idea for the pull-out papers that tucked in the pockets. This one was the one where the pockets slanted in, and that one was primarily like in the greens and mostly greens, I guess, and some light like pastel-y fall colors, if that makes sense. So we're going to do that today with this. So I've already made the tags. I backed them with tea stained paper. Oh, and I didn't ink this one. Let me ink it because I will forget while I'm talking to you. I will just go ahead and ink this. I'm a little off camera, but I'm making all those little brown pills again with this dauber with the sponge. So I have to change this and I have to re-ink my pad here. Try to remember to do that before I go up for the night tonight. So again, you're probably hearing my sump pump. My apologies. Yeah, it's spring. Things are thawing. So anyway, so I've already done the cards. This paper is, and I'm not sure of the name of the kit, but this is from the Journal Boat. And I think it's Vintage Rose or something like that. She has two that I know of that have the word rose. One is Shabby Rose, which I have over there because I was trying to decide which. And then there's this one. And I think this one is Vintage Rose or something like that. But anyway, all of the tags and this paper that we're using is from that kit. So that's the Journal Boat on Etsy. Okay, so I started this again to try to give me some time, kind of get ahead of things a little bit. So I've got one. I'm going to show you how it will get glued down, and then I'm going to do the other piece here. So we're going to glue one down, then I'm going to cut this piece, and we're going to get that glued down. Now here, on these, there's a little bit of extra paper. I don't know how well you can see that against the other tea-dyed paper. I'm doing this because when the cards go in, and you'll see what I mean when we get it together, if you haven't seen the last one that I did, when the cards go in, I don't want them, well, let's see, let me try to explain here a little bit. This is not going to be neat, but they're going to go like this. This is going to go this way, okay? And I have to match up the design. And then this is going to go here. Now this paper is going to get cut down because it's too big. But the cards are going to slip in here. So when they slip in, if I don't have something to keep them from going over the edge of this pocket, which is this piece of paper, they might pop out as you're putting them in and come outside and come out from the thing. So that's the only reason why that paper is there. It does not get glued down, or otherwise the cards won't go all the way down. It just kind of hangs there. It doesn't bother the cards coming out, and it helps to guide them going in, and that's the only reason why that's there. So let's just go ahead and get started with this. I made a template when I did this, but I'm going to show you on this paper how I made the template on this piece. I'm not sure if I'm off the screen or not. I'm going to show you how I measured it out, and then when I measured it out, I just traced it onto a piece of heavier paper, but this is going to change every time the size of your paper changes. So it might just be easier to go ahead and just remember the format. I don't want to say formula, but the format of how you actually measure it out and then just cut it. So, and that's kind of what we're going to do today. I'm not going to, this is only here to remind me which corner I have to start in because I already did this one backwards. So I have to do these on top of the paper. I have to draw my lines because I will get it wrong if I flip it over. I have to see it as it's going to actually look because, you know, that's how I am. So for my sake, guys, I am going to turn this around so I can actually see. Let me put this to the side. I've got my paper already folded, and I'm going to put the first piece right in here, and this gets glued down completely. There's no backing. It just gets glued down completely. And I want to do that just about a hair's breadth away from the fold line, okay? Excuse me. So we're going to use my 3-in-1 so I have time to move things around. So we will get this one down. So I hope everybody is doing well today, anticipating spring. I know there's probably many of you out there who enjoy winter and the winter sports, or, you know, just the winter season for whatever the reason is. I, as you know, am a spring person and so looking forward to that coming. And today I had 3 robins in my yard. As I got in my car and I put my car in reverse to back out of the driveway, they all 3 stopped and turned around and looked at me. I was like, oh, you guys are awesome. Robins are my favorite bird because they are the heralders of spring and they're cute. Okay, so we're going to put that right up against the edge. And right, like I said, I'm starting from here because I know I'm going to have to trim down here because this piece of paper is too big. Because, you know, I have borders on my digitals, and so that makes the pages smaller. So we're going to do that one first. Then we're going to take the next one. Now, if you've got something where the pattern doesn't match, then it's really not too much of a problem, okay? But if the pattern matches, you have to pay a lot of attention to make sure that it's all going in the right direction, that you don't put the left-hand side of the page on the right side or the right side on the right-hand side of the printout. Like, let me just take this. This is part of the kit here. Okay, you want to make sure that this side stays on this side and this side stays on this side. You have to cut the paper in half, and often what I would do is I'd take this paper and put it over here and this over here, and then there's no continuity in the middle, okay? Because you've got these 2 ends matching rather than the middle matching. So it just kind of takes, you know, just a little focus. Okay, then you have to match, and you're going to butt this right up against the other piece, and you're going to match the pattern here, okay? And you're going to put it right up against here. That's what we're aiming for. Try to make that as even as possible. This is that little tab that I told you about, and I'm not worried that this is hanging over here. I just cut about a 1/2 inch down away from this design, you know, from the design paper. And I can cut this off later. So that way you don't have to worry about exactly where it has to go. So we want to make sure that we line it up with the edge of the paper and the edge of the paper, okay? And that's what we're going to do. We're not gluing here. Remember, I'm working upside down. This is actually the top of the page. We don't want to glue this part. We just want to glue here, this piece here, and here. And we're not gluing this. This stays unglued, okay? So, see, I flip it over. It's the short side that I want to do. So this piece, this is the one place where we have to remember to keep the top of the pocket open. And then we're gonna, I don't know how well you can see because I'm working tea-dye over tea-dye here, but okay, we just do that. All right, and then we're gonna get this and we're gonna put it right back down against this piece, okay? We're still that little bit away from the fold. We're doing fine. Then we're going to take this piece, which is the next one, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put it right up against the edge of this paper. This does not get glued down. We're just gluing here And actually we're gluing here and here because this is going to get cut off. And we're going to just glue here, okay? So on this one we're going to glue, because this is technically the bottom of the page now, but you don't see that until I trim the paper. And you can trim, you know, cut the paper to the right size before. I just didn't, because I wasn't worried about it. I figured once everything was on, I would just trim the whole thing all at once. Now, I had started this last week. Excuse me, I had wanted to try to do it in teal. Now, teal isn't something I have. I'm just trying to make sure this is pushed. Not like that. I don't have a lot of things, a lot of paper or designs in teal. It's not generally a color that I usually use. I tend to go more for the pinks and beiges and maybe peaches or something like that. I don't want to overlap this. I just want to get it right up against the edge. Okay, bring it down a little more there. Try to get the edges of the paper to line up better. And if it doesn't quite stick, we just add more glue. Okay, and now here's the last part. Now this one is backed, but it doesn't need a flap, okay? Because this is the bottom piece right here, and we're going to put that piece right here. And then well, once I get the other side done, we'll trim everything down all at once, okay? So this is going to go along the two, well, I guess you can call them straight sides. They're all straight, but the sides that aren't on the angle, the 45-degree angles. I'm gonna just go, or 90-degree, I guess that's 90 degrees. I don't know. I am not a math guy. So put that right up against here. Let me try to make sure. I'm more concerned with lining up the pattern. If the paper is a little off, like it looks a little off here, you wonder how that could be, but you know, this is me. Things happen to me all the time that shouldn't happen. But I probably have something off, maybe a little up here, whatever it is, but I'm more concerned about trying to get the pattern lined up because we can trim this to be even, and then we can always re-ink. Okay, so what we have here, and I'll use one of these cards, is we have a pocket here, and now because we have that little piece of paper, excuse me, that's here, this can't go in and pop out here, okay? That paper is making it so it won't allow it. So we have a pocket here, we have a pocket here, and we have a pocket here, okay? So we're gonna put this to the side right now and just let it rest. And I'm gonna show you how, well, let me bring this back just so that I can show you this. Because I have the pockets going this way, we want these pockets going this way, so they actually will make, I'll try to get this together a little bit, and leave this here. Here's the one cut, here would be another cut, so they make V's like this coming down, okay? How I started this was, I just thought, how big of a corner pocket would I want? I thought, well, 3.5 inches looks good, so that's what I did. So without this piece, because this is my template, all I did, here's the top corner, and let me get my ruler and a pencil. I measured 3.5 inches down the side. Okay, try to get that as straight as possible. 3.5 inches, and like I said, I'm making my marks on the outside because if I flip it over, I will do it wrong. Where am I? 3.5 inches there. See? And it's amazing I can drive a car, isn't it? Okay, and then 3.5 inches here, because I thought 3.5 inches made a nice size corner pocket. So we did that one there. We're going to come down here and do the same thing in the opposite corner. Get rid of that. So here's the one. We're going to come down here to the opposite corner and do 3.5 like that, and 3.5 like this. Okay, Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my lines between my two marks. I'm going from the mark at the bottom, at the edge of the paper, not to the top, but at the edge of the paper, okay? Because it's, you know, a little bit of like a 32nd of an inch. And we're just going to go ahead and draw that line. I'm trying not to press too hard, but I want to be able to see the line so I can cut on it somewhat. The real reason why I need the line a little darker, get over here, I hope I've got it in the same place, and I will try to erase this as much as possible, is because we're going to have to measure between these two lines to find the middle, okay? And this is exactly how I did this. And then, like I said, once I cut the digital paper, the printed paper, I just traced those pieces onto a piece of white card and made a template. However, like I said, the template is only accurate to the height of the page. Usually, you know, and even the width, sometimes it just depends. Okay, so I don't know how well you can see this line. It's kind of faint, but there's a line right here, and there's a line right here. What I'm going to do for me, and I don't know if anybody else has one of these, but let me put it on here so you can see this. This has got, you can see through this, and it's got a whole bunch of lines, and the heavier lines are the inch lines here. And I'm going to use, because of my eyes, I'm going to use the heavier line. I'm sorry. I'm going to use the heavier line to line it up. And what I'm doing is I'm lining up my line, and I'm putting this red line right over it. Okay, so I know this is straight. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here and see where I end. Now I end at 5 1/16. Okay, so half of 5 is 2 1/2. So there's 1, 2 1/2. Okay, and then I've got a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm just going to go a smidge hair over that line. Okay, it's just how it happened to be because of the height of the paper. I'm going to move down the page a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line up my red heavy line right along my pencil line so it looks good and straight. Okay, and then there's 1 inch, 2 inch, a 1/2 inch, and then just a smidgen right where I can't see it on this music. And then I'll take my ruler. Let me see if I can find that one. Where'd it go? I just moved it and I can't see where it is. You guys can probably see it. I've got to turn. Is that it? Oh my goodness. I said it's right on the music, and you think I can find it? No. All right, let's try it again. See if I can get it someplace where I can see it. Maybe on a leaf or something. Okay. As soon as I do this, I'll find it. So it's 1, 2 1/2, and then a smidgen. So it's right here. I'm going to try to make that just a little longer and not take my eyes off it this time. And I'm going to line up my ruler with my 2 marks. There's 1 here and then 1 here. So I have to bring this over a little bit. Okay, and then the 1 here. Make sure I'm on it. Lost it again. Here it is. It looks like one of the leaves. That's my problem. I'm going to keep my pencil on it so I can tell. Okay. And then I'm going to draw that line right down the center here. Okay. So what that gives us is uneven. It's uneven is what it gives us. Me and my big math, right? I think I just counted wrong. I don't know. Let me try to get rid of this line, which is hard on here because this is a different printer. I'm using my gum eraser, which is helpful. It doesn't really take a lot of the ink off. It also doesn't leave any residue behind, which is nice. But it can take some of the, on the laser jet, which is what this was, it can take some of the ink off. So I'm trying, it doesn't take as much off as a regular pencil eraser, but it still does take some color off. So let me go back here Let me see if I can do it this way. There's my line. Okay, so we have, I know what I did wrong because I was going to the number 5. I'm not starting on a, like at the beginning. I happen to just be using a red line. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, not 5. Where I had it, I saw the number 5 and that's what I was doing. So it's 1, 2, and then just a hair over. I mean, really just a hair over. So I'm just going to go for 2, 2 inches. Here I am again on something I can't see. I'm going to try to make my line a little longer so I can see it. Come down here. Okay, there it is. It's better. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the line almost. And I'm just going to go to the 2. Just 2 inches. I know that says 4, but it's just 1 square, 2 squares. Okay. And it does not have to be exactly perfect, but pretty close. As close as possible is better, just so that it looks a little more symmetrical. Not like my last one did. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and draw that line here. Okay. So now we have this corner. We have this half in the middle, this half in the middle, and the other corner. That's all I did. When I cut these apart, then like I said, I traced them. So let me go ahead, get my knife here, move these things over for a minute, and we'll start cutting, okay? So let's get on this line. This does take me a minute because I have to make sure I'm in the right spots because shadows confuse me now. So move that one over here. We're going to go to this one. And I just wanted to show you how I did this without a template. So it does that way. If you do it follow this formula, and I just went off a little bit, but that's okay. If you follow this formula, it doesn't matter what size paper you do it on. It just matters how big your corner pockets are. Get that size where you want it. Do it on the 2 opposite corners. Then whatever is left in the middle, you just divide in half. And then that should do it. Okay, so now we'll have our 4 pieces. Okay. And then I'm going to get a piece of copy paper. I thought I had another one down here, but I don't see what I've done with it. I think maybe, no, let me just grab another one because this one was the one I had to glue on. So let me get another tea-dyed paper, and we're going to go ahead. This one, let me flip this over. This is the one that's going to go up in this corner right here, okay? So we'll just go ahead and glue that one down just to get it out of the way. And then I'll show you what to do with these. Just these 2 pieces are the ones that get these little flanges on it. I've got glue all over me. I don't know if I could survive without having glue on me, to tell you the truth. It seems like it's what holds me together anymore. Okay, so this one gets glued down completely flat because it's not a pocket in any way, shape, or form. So we'll glue that one down. Okay, and again, I'm working upside down so I can see the edge of the paper better. All right. Now this should come, and it could come closer together, but I know that it's a center piece and I'm going to be stitching through it. So I don't want to make it too close. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to worry about it coming through. Now I'll fold this in half and I'll ink down here, but that's about all I'm going to do. All right, so we got that piece on. Let's move that over here. And then all I'm going to do here, first of all, let's make sure I do it on the right end. Okay. Here it is. Okay, there's the next piece. That's what we're gonna do. And where we want the flange is here, okay? So I'm just gonna put it here, and I'm not gonna glue it up against the edge of this because the ruffly thing always seems to give me a problem. Actually, I can do it from this end. And we'll just do it this way, and the flange is gonna go here, okay? So let's glue this down. Get all my bits off of here. And you can do this. I'm just choosing to do it again on copy paper. I think it's really, like I said, it's really all you need. It's just a guide to help keep you from putting the, making the tag come through the next slit. This does not allow that to happen. By the time the tag passes the end of this flange, it's past the slit for that pocket. So it won't allow the tag to come through. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do it this way so I can see it a little bit better. We're just going to put that up against the edge like so. Okay, my little card here. Smooth that out. And I'm just going to go ahead, put that over there. And I'm just going to cut down from here, about a ½ inch or so, maybe a little more than that, 3/8, ½ inch, and from here, like so, okay? We'll cut across, oh, that one's longer. Let's make this one longer. Okay. And it doesn't have to be straight. It can be a little off, a little crooked. Nobody's going to see it. It's just all hidden underneath. So we have that one. Now I'll take my, well, I guess I can use this one. And I'm just going to do my, I can do it this way too. This is another way to do it. I can just push this up against the edge of the paper and cut this way. Okay, so there's that. And we'll do the same thing this way. Glue's in my way here. And put this one up against here. There's so many ridges now from cutting on this board. It's hard to make my ruler slide. That one there. And this one here. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to trim that just a smidgen. It too would, it may or may not, because no, actually I don't think this would come quite off from trimming because it's on the inside. Okay, so we have that one. Now let's take the other one. We want to make sure we have it going in the right direction. So this one goes here, and then this one is going to go this way. Nope, this way. Okay. So we want the flange down here at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and glue this down. Try to get it as much as possible at the edge of this. Okay. And we're going to put the flange from this end. I'm going to push myself up a little bit so I'm not completely off the screen. Okay. So we are getting near the end of this, and I think it was in my last video. I think my last video was actually 2 parts. I'm trying to remember what the last one was that I put up. I can't remember. Oh, before this one. Well, there was one before this one that hasn't aired yet. You will see it. So it was in the videos before, so like 2 videos ago when I did, I believe it was when I did the domed pocket, the domed pocket tag thing, whatever it is that I did. I mentioned that at that point, and I think that came out Saturday, on a Saturday the 5th, I think it was. I mentioned at that point in that video, one of the two, that I was coming up on my, let me get my eraser so I can erase some of this line because I was off on this one. I was coming up on 3,000 subbies, and I had about 15 to go at the time. Last I looked, a little earlier this evening, I was at 358. So, and I said that I was going to do my giveaway, my 3,000 subby giveaway on March 20th, which is a Sunday, but it's the first day of spring. So sort of as a celebration, excuse me, of the first day of spring, I was going to do the giveaway. And that giveaway is going to be a bee journal. It's not going to be huge. Well, not, I don't know. By some people's standards, I'm sure I'll have a problem stopping with that as well. But it'll be one signature, kind of a regular size, however big, not sure how big those papers. I've printed them already, and I can't remember if I made them a little bigger or not. Than the size that it comes out, because sometimes some people's pages come out a little smaller, so I try to make them as big as possible, you know, as I can get on the page. Sometimes I leave them for a smaller journal, and sometimes I make them bigger. I might have left this one. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But it is a bee journal. It's beautiful papers. The papers are actually called the Apiary, and it is from designer Cherish Horse graphics, and her name is Lauren. And beautiful, beautiful papers. I'm just going to put this in my scraps. Hang on. Okay. And so I'm using her papers, and there are going to be a couple of other bits in there as well. But yeah, so it should be pretty nice. I'm hoping. So that's going to be my 3,000 subby giveaway. I'm trying to decide. There's probably going to be another video before this one, but I'm trying to decide, I guess, what you would need to do. You know, leave a comment for sure. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Possibly share the video. Or even your favorite video. If you've been watching my videos, you can share even your favorite video. Well, I need to do this one. I gotta bring that paper back. You know, and something like that. Just something along those lines. I'm gonna really try to stay away from the ripples. So that's what I'm thinking. If you aren't a subscriber, you subscribe. Leave a comment on, I don't know, any of my videos, I guess. I would say probably something along some of the newer ones. Maybe some, you know, one of the last few, 2 or 3 or 4 maybe, something. Because, like I had mentioned before, I don't always get notifications after something has been up. And I definitely don't get a notification if you answer a comment that's already been answered. If you comment on somebody else's comment, kind of thing. They don't tell me, and I have to go searching. There may be a way. Oh, that just fit perfectly, didn't it? I just looked at it and go, oh my goodness, I think that's too short, but it just fit perfect. There may be a way, but I'm not really all that tech savvy, so I couldn't say. So anyhow, so that's what I would say, is leave a comment on one of the last, you know, videos. Do not comment on somebody else's comment because I won't see it. Comment, subscribe, and share one of a link to one of my videos. And when I see your name in the comments, and if you share, which I hope you would, whoever gets the share, they should tell me. because they can be part of it as well. And I'll just put all the names in usually a bowl. I know they do that. A lot of people write the names out and number them and all that kind of stuff. I'll probably just write names down on papers and put them in a bowl and just pick a name. And that would probably be that. If I can figure out how to do that random number thing, maybe I will. So we'll just have to see. But somehow we will pick a winner for who will get the journal. So, and it doesn't matter if it is international, that is fine with me. I will send it if somebody wants to enter and you're in New Zealand or something like that. I'm in the States. I have no problem sending it out to you if you are the winner. So, okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this. And again, remember, we're leaving the top open, okay? And we're just gluing here, and we're leaving the flange alone, and we're gluing here, okay? So short side down to the flange, but not covering it. And I got to clean the tip of this thing because it's getting gummy. And down this side, okay? And we leave that alone because that's the flange. And we're just going to go ahead and butt this up against here, line it up, okay, there and there. We're going to take the next one and we're going to put that right over the other flange like that. We're going to glue here, here, and here because remember this is going to be the bottom of the page. We're going to cut this off, okay? So on this one we glue the whole pointy side, leaving the little flange alone. Oh, that's even. And this long side here. Now, I started to say before that I had started to do this more than a week ago, and I was going to try to do it in a teal color, teals and aquas or something, but they're not generally the colors that I use. I didn't have a lot that I could work with. Everything I was doing, I made the base page like this, and I just couldn't find anything that made me happy. So I went looking again in my my digitals, and I came up with this. Now, that being said, and I will show you something else that happens with this once I get this trimmed down. That being said, I'm going to use part of that here in just a minute. Okay, now when I cut this apart, by the way, you see I inked around the edges, but I didn't come back and ink in the middle because I didn't want the pockets to be real noticeable. I didn't want to break up the design. This was another thing that confused me, by the way, because things went in different directions. They go this way, they go this way. It's like I'm directionally challenged. So, okay, clean off my goo a little bit and go ahead back down here and do these corners. Now, the other paper that I did use was larger than this. So the pieces that I'm going to use from that, and I'll show you that in just a few minutes, are going to have to be cut down. But I believe that will not be an issue, and I will be able to, just trying to get off the extra glue here, I will be able to go ahead and use that. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take our handy dandy ruler here, and we're going to go right along the edge of this paper, and we're going to cut this strip right off. And if there's any little loose edges, I will go back later and glue them down for the sake of not making this video any longer than it would need to be. I'm getting hung up on the paper here. Here and here, okay? And we're just going to cut this off. So there goes those edges of those flanges, no problem. We're going to come here, we got them hanging down here too, and they're going to go as well. So we will go here, and we will go here, and I got a little one hanging on the edge here. And hang on one second, I think my husband's calling me. Yes, dear? All right, I'm videoing, so I'll see you in the morning. Okay, he is going back to the center to spend the night. As some of you that watch my videos know that we do not have a live-in employee at the moment to watch over the house where our residents live. So he goes back in the evenings and he spends the night, comes back in the morning. So a dedicated man. Okay, so now we've trimmed this down. Okay, I'll come back later and do the inking in the middle. I'm not concerned about that. I don't know which one is which one of these is going to be the center signature. They could end up being this because the center signature is going to actually have ribbon in it, I believe. I don't know. I can always change my mind, and I always do. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here. Now this was the piece that I did. Okay, and you can see that it was about the same width, but it is definitely longer by 3/8, half an inch. Okay. The thing about this, and this looks like the pockets are lined, and if you've seen my previous video about 4 or 5 months ago, it looks like I've lined these pockets, okay, with the lace. However, these are the hidden tags, and these come out, okay? So we're going to take these out. I know they're going to have to be made shorter. I don't think they have to be made narrower, which is good, because then the lace, it would be a problem for the lace. I'm holding, like, why won't it come out? It's because I'm squeezing the pocket at the bottom. So there's that piece of paper with the pockets, okay? I had a little less space in between there, but that's all right. I think I just hit the camera, sorry, I hit the wire. So we're gonna go ahead and see if these fit, and they look like they're gonna be just fine. Now, what I do here, which you didn't see on the video, this is just card. I take the lace and I glue it down a thin line to hold it in place, and then I go back and I stitch it, but I leave this open so that it will go over the edge of the pocket. Now the other thing I did here, and there's a couple of them I still have to do, I didn't realize I had missed them, is I took a little bit of glue and water, and I just took I think I used a sponge,